Domestic violence is violence in the home. The survivors can be either male or female. The abusers can be either male or female. Okay, so I just wanted to dispel any myths that only survivors are female, because that isn't always the case. Okay, so it isn't gender specific. And because this is an issue that has become more apparent, it's always been in existence. But during this pandemic, when again people are quarantined, people are restricted to spending more time in their homes than not, the numbers have definitely increased. Okay, and so there are various organizations. United Way is definitely a top resource that I would recommend, as far as in having a plethora of nonprofit organizations available to survivors. And I'd actually like to read some information from United Way so that you can take some tips and have some recommendations of how to communicate with someone that either you believe is in an abusive relationship, or if you are a survivor yourself. Okay, so I am going to read from this page. So if someone has disclosed that there is abuse, always believe that person. Okay, always believe that person. Let the survivor know that they aren't to blame. Keep your relationship strong with the survivor and discuss how to safely stay in contact with that individual that discloses the abuse to you. Discuss their options, such as talking with the police, applying for a protective order, speaking with an attorney, or attending counseling or a support group, so that they don't feel alone, they don't feel isolated. It's important to know that you have support. Okay. If they have a safety plan, if someone that you know that is a survivor has a safety plan, then it is important to ask, if you could be a part of that safety plan. So if they're in a situation, can they call on you? Can they come to your house as a place of refuge? Try not to talk poorly about the abuser to the survivor. The survivor likely still loves the abuser and may return to the relationship. So just be mindful of listening more than sharing, okay? Or asking a lot of questions, because that may cause that person to, withdraw and not want to share. But as they're talking, make sure that you're listening to them. So if you suspect domestic violence without a disclosure from the survivor, meaning they didn't tell you directly, you can express concerns, observations of harmful comments, or incidences that are sensitive. Okay? Let the survivor know that you're there for them. You can also express that you notice that they haven't been themselves lately, or you haven't seen them at church, or you haven't seen them wherever, on Zoom virtual meetings. And they used to be in Zoom virtual meetings like every week, but now they log in, but you don't see them anymore. And maybe you suspect some things are going on. Have you, and are you okay? Have you been okay, and are you okay? Are great questions to ask. Again, refrain from telling the survivor to end their relationship with the abuser, because it may invoke feelings of shame, and they may withdraw or they may distance themselves from you. It says, do your best to maintain a supportive relationship between yourself and the survivor. Isolation is a key tactic of abusers, right? So those survivors have found themselves in situations where their abuser might keep them from connecting with their family, keep them from connecting with their friends, keep them from socializing, with coworkers and people outside of the home and outside of the relationship. Okay. So they want them to be cut off from friends, family, and coworkers to keep them in the abusive relationship. And these are all tips that are directly from United Way. of how to support someone that is in a domestic violent relationship. And so these are things to keep in mind if you yourself are in that type of relationship, or you suspect that someone that you care about is in that type of relationship. Okay? So how can you be of support? How can you get the support that you need? Those are the things to be mindful of. And so I hope that those tips that were shared are beneficial. And take care of yourselves. Thank you again.